The movie begins with a quote from Psalm chapter 34, verse 11. Afterward, the scene continues with the setting sun and a building guard who is on duty at night. Suddenly, an angel fell from the sky from the top of the building. Switch to the next scene, which shows a restaurant in a desert, which is usually a rest area for motorists. There were several diners in the restaurant. Some of them stopped by to take a break from the trip, while others stopped to fix their car's problems. All visitors' cars that come will be serviced by Jeep, the son of the rest area's owner, Bob. Besides them, there is a restaurant waitress who is pregnant, named Charlie. Jeep loves Charlie very much and is willing to be a father to her unborn child even though he is not the biological father. But she didn't want her pregnancy and tried several times to abort the pregnancy but always failed. In the next scene, an old grandmother visits the restaurant. She looked very polite and greeted the customers until she started acting strange after Charlie brought her food order. She started eating the steak she ordered even though it was covered in flies. Her attitude was also rude to the visitors, especially to Charlie's womb, as if she did not want the child to be born into the world. The tensions escalated when she made fun of the visitors. When one of the visitors got angry and approached her, she suddenly bit him. It turned out that the grandmother had been possessed by a monster. Shortly after, she attacked everyone in the restaurant until the rifle that Bob was holding was thrown at Jeep. After that, she began to approach him. However, Jeep, who was holding the rifle, didn't have the heart to shoot. Suddenly, a visitor named Kyle shoots her from behind before anything bad happens. After that, Sandra, the wife of the visitor who was bitten, immediately approached her injured husband. Together with Kyle and Audrey, their daughter, she plans to take her husband to the hospital. Another oddity appeared when there was a black cloud that turned out to be a swarm of insects from the direction of their destination. Because the situation was bad, they finally returned to the restaurant. At the restaurant, the people there were tidying up the place. Jeep regrets to Bob that he couldn't be firm enough to shoot the grandmother. Hearing this, Bob encouraged his son not to be sad. Afterward, Bob told him to keep fighting for his love for Charlie. In the next scene, a visitor comes using a police car. The visitor is a policeman named Michael. Seeing him, the people were afraid. Then, they confronted him. However, after they are convinced that he is not a monster, everyone agrees to let him into the restaurant. After that, he gave weapons to the people in the restaurant because the monsters, like the old grandmother, would return. Afterward, he warns Charlie not to act rashly. Not long after, everyone in the restaurant was busy blocking the restaurant. At night, Michael, Jeep, and two other men stood guard on the roof. A few moments later, the sound of an ice cream car stopped. The driver who got off the car turned out to be the one who had been possessed. Then, he immediately shot before entering the restaurant. After that, many cars of people who were possessed came and surrounded the place. From the crowd of people, Kyle saw a small child, and it bothered him. Unfortunately, the others paid no heed and attacked everyone who was possessed before being able to enter the restaurant. During the battle, one of the people who had been possessed attracted the previously injured visitor. After this happened, the people acting like monsters one by one retreated and left the rest area. After the situation back to normal, Bob asked Michael to explain what had happened. Michael finally explains that he is an angel and what they face is an apocalypse. He said that God no longer believed in humankind, so he made humans like monsters. Michael also said that initially, he got a task from God to kill the child in Charlie's womb. However, he doesn't want to do that because he still believes in humans. Because of that, Michael lost his power as an angel. The only way out of the apocalypse is to keep the child in Charlie's womb alive. Charlie, who heard Michael's explanation, was very surprised. She didn't expect the child inside her can save humanity. After Michael finished his explanation, everyone there returned to guard the restaurant. At the same time, they were all still thinking about everything Michael had said. Not long after, Michael reveals that he likes humans like Jeep among humans in the world. He likes Jeep because Jeep seems willing to sacrifice himself for others, and he isn't only busy fighting for the sake of worldly pleasures. When morning arrived, Bob was tired from being on guard on the roof of the rest area and was sleeping. On the other hand, Sandra heard her husband scream from outside the restaurant. She finally came out and saw if her husband had been crucified. Then, she tried to save him without thinking it was a trap. Before she could approach her husband, who had turned into a monster, a man protected her until he died. Bob then blamed himself for not being able to stay awake properly. Meanwhile, Sandra was tied to a chair. She doesn't seem to feel guilty about what happened earlier. She even cursed her daughter, Audrey. The situation is getting more difficult. After that, a small hope arises when Audrey finds a radio broadcast about the fight against the creatures in a neighboring town. Michael, who knew of their plan to go to the city, immediately forbade them because the trip would be very dangerous. At night, it's not just the men who are on guard. Even Audrey asked to stand guard with a rifle. A car is seen approaching to refuel at the rest area in the middle of the night. There is a father and his young daughter sitting in the passenger seat. Kyle, who saw this, began to doubt whether they were human or not. Before he could think about it, many possessed humans came from afar. He immediately ordered the man filling the gas to leave the place. As the situation got worse, Kyle decided to help. However, it turned out to be all a trap. After he managed to carry the little girl, he was bitten. Audrey got down to help but got stuck in the car while avoiding the possessed human. Charlie, who saw this incident, asked Michael to help. She threatens if he doesn't help Audrey, she will get out. Hearing that, Michael has no other choice, so he helps Audrey. Fortunately, Audrey was saved from the burning car. When Charlie went to the kitchen to get water for Audrey, suddenly, the possessed little girl came and attacked her. Everyone tried to kill the possessed little girl, but unfortunately, she managed to run out. After the incident, Charlie looks about to give birth to her child. There was a trumpet blast from an unknown place. The sound of the trumpet is a sign that the angel will descend to earth. Finally, the labor process was over, and Charlie gave birth to her child safely. Everyone is happy. Michael told everyone in the restaurant to leave because the possessed human couldn't get close to Charlie's baby. However, before they go, Sandra, who loses her logic, takes the baby and plans to go alone. Then, Michael shoots her. After that, Jeep tries to save Charlie's baby, who falls to the floor. At the same time, an angel named Gabriel came. His arrival was to kill the baby according to God's command. Everyone tried to fight back, and his attack hit Bob, making him fall to the ground. After that, the remaining people decided to leave the place. On the other hand, Michael tries to restrain Gabriel from chasing them. Unfortunately, his lost power made him unable to fight Gabriel, and he died. With the rest of his consciousness, Bob finally lit a match that sparked an explosion in the rest area. The explosion was not enough to fight Gabriel, who has angel power. Gabriel finally caught Charlie's car, Jeep, and Audrey. With his powers, Gabriel causes the car to crash, which kills Audrey. Now, Jeep and Charlie climb a hill to avoid his attack. After that, Gabriel came and cornered them. At that moment, Michael came back from the sky with the power of an angel. He comes to help them. It turns out that all this time, Michael and Gabriel were being tested for their loyalty by God, and the one who had managed to pass the test was Michael, who chose to give humans a chance. Shortly after that, they fight. At the end of the fight, Michael refuses to kill Gabriel, and Gabriel finally left. The film ends when Michael guides Jeep and Charlie carrying her baby to their next destination. They are going down a hill toward a small town. Along the way, they think they must educate the baby to be a human savior. The moral that can be learned from this movie is that God will always provide a way when humans still have hope. Even though humans face various problems or difficulties, there will still be a way out of the problem as long as they still have hope and belief in God.